The time has come to review the incredible Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Later we'll load up the family, but I wanted to give you guys a quick walk around and tell you all the details about this vehicle, starting with the plug-in hybrid powertrain. Now the engine just turned on. The engine will go on and off depending on the charge of the battery and whatever climate control conditions you place inside the vehicle. But this is a longitudinally mounted. We have an inline 4-cylinder, 2.5 liters, connected to about a 68 kilowatt electric motor, which is then connected to an 8-speed auto. The battery size is around 18 kilowatt hours, but a little under 15 of that is usable. Mazda says 26 miles of electric range only. I've been getting a little bit better than that, but the weather here in South Florida this time of year has been absolutely perfect. So stay tuned for my driving impressions and my efficiency. But 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That torque figure is identical to what we see in the Inline 6 version of this vehicle. And I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I would take this over the Inline 6 for a lot of different reasons. And stay to the end because I'll give you guys a buying guide on this plug-in hybrid after we do our driving impressions, because this comes in 3 different grades. This is the maxed out premium plus grade. This doesn't compete at the top of the line inline 6 grades because those have paint matched wheel arches and it's a little bit more fancy around certain aspects of the vehicle. The garnish is a little bit nicer, but we have 21-inch wheels here, 275s up front. These tires are really wide, which also contributes to the amazing rear wheel drive feeling that you get with this unique Mazda platform, which is shared now with the CX-70 that was just revealed the week of my review of this vehicle. They just took out the 3rd row seats. So watch that if you want to know more about it. And instead of inline 6, since this is the inline 4 plug-in hybrid, it says PHEV or PHEV here on this garnish. I think it looks really, really nice. We have 360 cameras, so we have cameras underneath those side mirrors. Tons of presence. I mean, from the side, it looks more like a BMW in some ways. It definitely has a very regal look to it, very luxurious, and a very long hood. Now also from the front, I glossed over this when I was talking about the powertrain. The front here on this top trim has that reflective bar there at the bottom, and it just has so much width up front. It looks like an upscale German luxury car. I get hints of BMW, I get hints of even Mercedes-Benz up front. This thing is stately, no doubt. And I mean, from the exterior, it looks pretty much identical to the Inline 6 version that I tested late last year. And our family absolutely loved that vehicle. Even from this proportion here, it definitely looks strong. You have those fenders that fold over those wide rear tires, and just like the front, those are 275 width as well, so that's great when you need to rotate your tires. Now this is the only strange thing about the design is this bubble back here, but they had to do that to get a little bit more cargo space. Now this is a tight fit for my family now that we have 5 kiddos. Yes, welcome little Kirk into the family. This is actually his first car review, so yeah, we'll put him in the car here in a little bit and drive this around. But we went to Costco with this, actually loaded this all the way up, and we actually fit all of our cart in here. We had, I think, our jelly in the armrest up there, but everything else fit back here. And check this out. You have an outlet there and an outlet there. You have 2 outlets. We also have a 12 volt, and you can have 150 watts on this side. And I think this one is, yeah, this is the higher output, 1500 watt. So you guys could take this camping, plug in your hot plates or your grills, and have a heck of a time here with the CX-90 as a mobile generator. Now these seats do fold down, of course, and I'm gonna take the kids' car seats out of the back so I can fold them down. No automated seat here, but with just one hand, it's just a pull and a push. And these seats fold flat, which is really, really nice here. Of course, you can fold down those captain's chairs as well. Those captain's chairs, I think, come in 2 of the 3 plug-in hybrid grades. The base grade, I think, has a bench seat. And that bench seat should sit 8 people, if I remember correctly, because this one seats 7 with a small seat in the back. We'll get in the back in a little bit, but tons of space here. And this is essentially what the CX-70 is going to be. Maybe even a little bit more cargo space underneath the floor since that 3rd row of seats isn't there. So with that being said, let's pull this back up because we're going to need to get back there and I'm going to need to detail it for you. But plenty of cargo space, way more than the outgoing CX-9 that this replaces. And this vehicle, even though the CX-9 was fantastic, with that turbo 4-cylinder, it was just a little small. Now you could say this is a little small compared to something like the Grand Highlander, but this feels more upscale than the Grand Highlander. I just drove the Lexus TX, and this vehicle feels much more of a TX competitor than the Grand Highlander competitor. So let's go ahead and get into the back rows. Oh, it's locked, and that's the thing. This is a great pause here. There is no smart access opening here on the rear door. And that's a big miss for a parent, because sometimes you just want to have that. And sometimes I can just put my hand here instead and unlock the back door, but the car's on right now, so it's performing kind of funny. I should have brought little Kirk, or you can call him Abe as well. His seat, to put this in perspective, it comes to here. And actually, I think I took a picture of him in here. So it comes to here, and so the kids actually are able to climb under. And we have this raised floor in here, probably due to the battery pack. I don't remember this as much in the CX-90 Inline 6. We have this raised floor in here. It hasn't been an issue for the kids actually to get into the back seat. We also have this fold-up cup holder. Even with his basin, I can press this and I'll actually go forward. So if he's not sitting in there, oh, we got a headband, a casualty, but the girls can slide in back there, and you can see that real small seat in the middle. We've actually stuffed all 5 kids in here, and they didn't complain once about not having enough space. So let's slide that back, and we have sunshades to keep the sun off of little Kirk's head. This aluminum like trim, I think it's plastic. It looks okay. It's better than glossy black, and kind of like this aluminum silver color here garnish as well. Now it doesn't match the door handle. This door handle is like a real glossy, where this is more of a matte. So that's an interesting design choice from Mazda there. This is probably just coming out of the Mazda parts bin, where this is more tailored to this specific vehicle. But anyways, soft touch all the way down. 3 different materials here, quite impressive. And then more of a durable piece down here for your cups, all right? In the second row, we have vents, which is awesome for the kiddos. Now they're not on top, and that might be a miss. And if we get in the back, we'll talk about vents as well. But typically you want vents on the ceiling for better circulation. That's something the Grand Highlander and the TX, I think, both have. But you do have USB-Cs back here, heated outboard seats on this top of the line plug-in hybrid model. And then you also have climate control back here, which I haven't been playing with. Apparently I've turned it off up there. Yeah, the button's turned off, so you can't mess with it back here. There's our Costco receipt that survived. Maggie was playing with that, but in terms of rear seat legroom with these nice, I think these are the Napa leather seats. You can see my kids have been kicking this. You know, sometimes it is nice to have real soft back to the seats, but the kids are gonna kick it, it's gonna get dirty. So sometimes it's nice to have a little bit more durable material. We have mat pockets, and these are the clips for the child seat latches. By the way, this is an absolute breeze to install. So love that. And we're gonna get into the back seat here. Again, great attention to detail with that stripe. And these are, look at how soft this is. Buttery soft for the kids in the back. And child seat latches are also really easy to get to back here. Very handy. You also have this hook when you fold down the seats. Here's your vent. It's more of a leg cooler. So at least they have vents in the third row, and they are movable, but it's not as convenient as having it up here. I like having this window. It's great for the kids. We also have a little speaker back here for the Bose sound system, illuminated USB-C, and it looks like a tonneau cover could slot into there. Nice cup holders as well. You're probably asking, Kirk, why aren't you getting back there? Well, it's pretty small. Luckily, since it's captain's chairs, I can slink my leg forward. I think I could definitely make this work. The seat's really comfortable. I'm flexible. Yes, my knees are kind of high. My head's not touching the ceiling, which is quite impressive, to be honest. And Cassie actually has sat back here too, and she didn't have any issues, as she's only 5'2", so she was pretty comfortable back there as well. The second grade of the plug-in hybrid, as well as this top grade, have this panel roof setting, and there's a shade that completely blocks it out as well. The base model just comes with a standard sunroof, not this additional pane. But back here, there's no glass in the very, very back. Nice LED light there. Handles above every door, which is quite convenient. So I'm gonna cut to me get into the front seat while I squeeze out. All right, let's get into the front. Same high quality materials we had on the back door. We also have memory seat setting here for the driver. There's that Bose sound system. It's good. I'll give it like a B. It's not gonna really blow anyone's doors off. Check how peaceful this is. No, it's not the same super high quality suede dash or that drop stitch you get on the super high-end luxury models with the inline 6. Those are not available on the plug-in hybrid in the United States. This is still very pleasant, very high quality leather here on the dash, nice stitching, soft touch on the dash as well. Beautiful head-up display, and check that out. I have an address into my Android Auto, which is playing wirelessly, and check this, look how nice it is. If you want this basic screen, you don't want the screen on, manufacturers make it hard to turn off the screen, not Mazda. They're like, okay, we'll just put the clock in there for you, but check this out. All you have to do is press home, and it just backs out into the screen. I love that. That little attention to detail is also very luxurious and very premium feeling. So all you have to do is twist the knob or press a button, press over, and then here's Android Auto. Now I'll just cancel here. You can move around the screen. Yes, it is a touch screen, and you're able to, through the menus, enable touchscreen Android Auto, Apple CarPlay while you're driving. That is a game changer because Mazda's traditionally locked you out into the rotary dial for Android Auto, and it is pretty much impossible to use a rotary dial with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. It's just not designed for that. What it is designed for is the base software, and the rotary dial is perfect for this. It's super easy, very intuitive. I prefer using this system instead of a lot of other manufacturers, even with the touchscreen. So yes, this is not a touchscreen unless I go to Android Auto, but the rotary dial is very intuitive and it works better than pretty much everything else out there now that I'm used to it. Again, a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm telling you, it works fantastic. All right, 12-inch screen here. The base screen I think is a 10-inch screen. Which I don't know if that 10-inch screen enables wireless Android Auto with the touch screen. So keep that in mind. All right. We also have this incredible 12-inch MID right here that gives you two screens. Going through the menus here, I should be able to show you the second screen. There it is. It's iActive Sense display. And typically this comes up if you're in different sport modes or if you have the radar cruise control set on the highway, things like that. It just changes things around a little bit. I love it. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not trying to do anything too pizzazzy here, but I like this setup a little bit more. No, you don't have RPMs, but if I switch to sport mode, what's it going to do? Is it going to give me RPMs? There it goes. So if you want to see that RPM, and notice the engine didn't kick on when I went to sport mode. A lot of other manufacturers will force the engine to be on all the time that the sport mode is on. You can see I've worked the battery pretty much all the way down to 0. I haven't charged it in a couple of days, just been testing out the fuel economy on gas mode. As bad as 24 miles per gallon in really short stints, but if you're able to take it on the highway a little bit longer, I've seen over 30 miles per gallon. So it really is dependent on the type of driving you're doing for your efficiency. Same thing with your miles per kilowatt hour. This doesn't really calculate properly when you're running on hybrid mode, but when you're running on EV mode, I'm seeing anywhere from 1.8 to 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, and we'll talk more about that when I'm driving. But yeah, the Mi Drive, I actually have only used, I haven't even put it in sport mode once because I like the smoothness and the luxury of hybrid mode, or the normal mode, you could say. You can also prefer to keep this in EV mode if the battery has a charge in it. So when you start off, it'll be default in EV mode. There's also this button here, which I'm going to press. It's going to fire on the engine, and that little icon down there will let you know that the engine is charging the battery. Now check this out. Mazda puts this up here and they're like, hey, are you sure you want to charge the battery all the way up to 100%? How about you take it a little bit easy and you can stop charging the battery at 50%. So it just depends on what you want to do and when you want to have EV driving range or how much EV driving range you need. Some European cities require that you be driving in fully electric. So Mazda kind of gives you that option. While you're getting to the city, you can charge your battery. When you're charging your battery, your miles per gallon is going to drop. Of course, it's going to depend on the type of driving, but I saw it drop to about 20, 21, 22 miles per gallon while I was charging the battery, which is actually better than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And when I do that, the engine turns off to preserve fuel. All right, let's talk about the climate control because it's so good. Chef's kiss, right? Buttons. Look at this. Ventilated seats, I think, are only on this top end grade. But look at this. Also auto. Pops this on. Ooh, look at that great crisp display here. fan control, recirculation. There I can turn the rear climate control, give it to them in the power. Right there, there's the button for rear climate control as well. I can customize that if I want to. Passenger, heated and cooled seats. These seats are very comfortable, by the way. I don't have a thigh extension. That's something I really would have appreciated. The steering wheel, this same sort of leather we have on the dash is the same sort of feel we have here. Feels awesome. We have paddle shifters. I haven't played with them once to row through the 8-speed auto. I just feel like it's unnecessary. There's your info button, which is going to cycle through a couple things, but I just keep this up because it tells me my miles per gallon, my miles per kilowatt hour. That's what I care about the most. But yeah, I love the steering wheel. The stitching on here, guys, this is made in Japan. The stitching on this steering wheel, it's not perfect. The steering wheel that I had, the turbo on that steering wheel was absolutely perfect. So maybe they're not using the same Takumi Craftsman for this stitching on their, you know, more common models, because this is not the range topping grade, you know. So it is still very good and very impressive how tight knit it is, but it is not, I would say it's like B quality instead of like S quality that we had on the turbo model. 12-volt wireless charger. I love the traditional shifters. It's a little bit weird. It's over and down for drive, up for reverse, and you have to push it over for park. Now, we have an awesome 360 camera here. Makes parking this boat a breeze, and it is a boat. It's like 200 inches long. You have downhill ascent control. I love having the volume knob right off the rotary dial. It's super convenient. And you also have your favorites here, auto brake hold, which you have to reapply every time you start the car up if you prefer that feature. You can hide the cup holders if you want. I actually prefer to have it open just because this material is not my favorite. In fact, if I owned this car, I might be wrapping this in like a fake carbon fiber or fake wood pattern vinyl, because it's just me. I don't really like this fake lattice pattern, but the rest of the car is absolutely fantastic. This folds up bi-directionally, 2 USB-Cs in here, a little light in there, felt line in there as well. I think I've covered just about everything here on the CX-90 for the exterior interior powertrain. So let's get into the driving impressions, because that's what's, it's blown me away. Just keep in mind, this weighs several hundred pounds more than the CX-90 Turbo. It's not quite as fun to throw in the turns, which I wasn't able to do with the family in it. But man, it's a definitely high-end luxury experience you get in here for mass market prices. So let's get into the impressions with the family.
What's your favorite color?
All right, pulling out. Well, there's that front cross traffic alert that's highly aggressive, but you can disable it. So we're in full EV mode, and if you floor it, it stays in EV mode. It's just enough power to get you up to speed with traffic, but it's not like an impressive amount of electrification that you see in other plug-in hybrids, like let's say the RAV4 Prime, for example. It feels a little bit more like the Volvo plug-in hybrid that has a rear electric motor to power the rear wheels, and then it just has a gasoline engine to power the front wheels. Now, here it's a little bit different. We have a gasoline motor up front that's longitudinally mounted, and then it connects to a drive motor, and then to the 8-speed auto. So I don't know what was going on there.
I think we just saw an accident.
Did we just see an accident? Or close to it? I don't know.
Geez,
yeah, it's that time of year, right?
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Time of year down here in South Florida where all these people flock in from across North America. It's not just the United States. We have so many crazy Canadians down here too. You have this drive here that can flip between EV mode. I'm in EV mode right now, but you can just put it into, well, not off-road, you can put it into normal mode. And then this little power meter will tell you when it's going to switch over into gas. There's a little perforation on it. And if I go past the EV portion, I'm still in EV mode. If I go past that perforated line, gasoline engine is on. And that's one of the most impressive things about this plug-in hybrid, is that it's so seamless between gasoline function and EV function that I have to always look to see on this little indicator down here if the gasoline engine's off. The only time you ever hear the gasoline engine is if your foot is buried. It's very smooth, very quiet, and when it turns on and off, it's seamless. And that's something We really liked the inline 6 version of this.
Yeah.
The powertrain was really good, but when you had the like intelligent driver I-stop system, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It would cut off the big inline 6 randomly when you're driving, and it was very intrusive and not luxurious. This is a far more luxurious powertrain, and it gives you the same performance of the inline 6. Now it comes at a cost though, and something you probably wouldn't mind, but it comes at the cost of handling. This has about 400 or 500 pounds more than the inline 6 model due to the big battery pack that you need to recharge. It's bad for a couple reasons. It's bad because when you throw it in the turns, it doesn't have that same playfulness as that the inline 6 CX-90 had. It also is bad, and maybe you're going to wear through tires a little bit faster. I mean, maybe. And it's also probably bad for brakes. Now, I would assume the regen braking here is the exact same setup as it is on the inline 6, so you're not getting that much more regen here. Now you can play, there's two different settings of regen in here. There's high and low, or high and normal. I just stick with the normal because the high is a little bit too aggressive for my liking. It's not one pedal driving anyways, so I just prefer like the mild regen. That's more similar to our Prius. Yeah, it's very, very predictable and nice to have. I probably need to get over, right?
I do.
And that's the thing, in a big vehicle like this, is it easy to get over?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Cassie's
I'm like such a
beautiful LX in front of us, though.
Oh, it's like one of those older ones,
the old,
right?
Yeah, the 470.
I love them.
They're gorgeous. They stay like pristine down here too.
They do. Maybe one day.
One day, if you want to get 11 miles per gallon. Speaking of fuel,
that's right. I don't like that.
Yeah, and it's premium fuel only.
Oh, right. That's why.
Yeah. That's another thing. So.
Never mind.
Yeah. They're
I'll just gawk at them from afar.
Just gawk at them, and someone's enjoying them. Yeah. But why you get the plug-in hybrid is for less trips to the gas station. You're spending less on gas. Let's talk about the efficiency here. If it's like around 50 degrees, my electric efficiency dropped quite a bit. I was getting like 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. 65 degrees and above, it seems to really be happy, and I'm getting about 2.5 to 3 miles per kilowatt hour. And I'll put some metrics on the screen for you guys, because if you're able to drive solely in electric at about 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, you're going to be saving hundreds of dollars per year versus a 25 mile per gallon inline 6. Okay. The upfront cost of this is a little bit more, but I think you'll be able to pay it off pretty quickly, honestly. Now, when you run out of electric range, I was seeing really impressive fuel economy numbers ranging from 28 to 32 miles per gallon.
That's good.
That's crazy because it only has a little 2.5 liter 4-cylinder when it's doing all the work at that point. And so it's getting around 30 miles per gallon when you run out of electric juice. And this is a vehicle that you would get if you were able to charge at home. No one would be charging this, even though Mazda has like, hey, we'll help you find an EV charging station. That's completely irrelevant in a plug-in hybrid because you just fill up gas.
Yeah, then you just go on gas the rest of your trip or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. And there's a cool little metric in here. We go to information and we go to high voltage battery monitor. It'll say how much charge we have left. It actually went up a percentage there, right? Because we're using the regen.
Oh, yeah.
But it'll say the total range, including electric. So, and it's good to have the metrics because you have two powertrains on board here, and you want to make sure both of them are, topped off properly, right?
Sure.
You want to make sure your battery has, amount of juice. So for our sort of driving, what am I seeing for range? We have that about 15 kilowatt hour usable battery in here. And depending on my miles per kilowatt hour, it's hard to say because I got about 28, I want to say 27, it was 27 miles of electric range. And that was when it was on the low end of miles per kilowatt hour. If you're driving this, let's say it's 70 to 80 degrees, perfect weather, your miles per kilowatt hour are going to go way up. Now, I have noticed that if you play with the climate control, that does cut into your electric efficiency quite easily. That's going to bring down, your efficiency. So if you're driving this in California or Florida during the winter, I think you're going to be really efficient in electric driving. But
Arizona, not so much.
Arizona, yeah, when you're running the AC there, it's probably going to put a dent quite noticeably in your electric driving range and your electric driving efficiency. So it's just you're just gonna have to charge it more often, which means a little bit more cost. The good news, the gasoline engine's not going to suffer as much due to temperature and its efficiency. So yeah, the little 2.5 liter in here is pretty good. So I'm gonna get around, and that engine sounds good, and the transmission's super responsive, and you have that electric motor chipping in to give you, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Chipping in to give you that additional assistance. So I like this powertrain actually more than the Inline 6, which sounds crazy, but it's smoother. We don't get any of the weird jerkiness in the transmission that we got in the Inline 6. We don't have abrupt engine on and off going on, and we get improved fuel efficiency. We get exact same performance pretty much, and it's even smoother, right? Because I have more electric propulsion here, so your engine's barely ever working hard. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Now I think there has been some compromises in the back seat because they have to put that battery pack, so I think that does cut into your cargo space.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, but I mean, this is for like a family of what,
4 to 5. Even though this can seat up to 8 people, but that's emergency situation. You know, like if you need to help bring other kids home from school here and there.
Carpooling situations.
Yeah. Really, it's probably best for seating a family of 5 to 6 total.
How much groceries are they going to need?
Right. You know? Not as much as us at this point. So.
Oh man.
But yeah, we really like the CX-90 for all sorts of reasons, from the design, the luxurious feel in here, even though this isn't as nice as that nice suede dash we had.
Yeah, they're not like dual colors, but like all of it is nice.
Yeah, it's very nice and pleasing, and you know, Mazda got rid of all that glossy black plastic.
Yes, the material is very nice.
Yeah, even though it's not, I don't know, the most premium looking mesh pattern
premium
here.
Price?
Yeah, I mean, they are. Well, they're getting closer to premium. So I'll put the prices for the different levels of plug-in hybrids.
Okay.
The Mazda has not let the plug-in hybrid for some reason get the most expensive trim levels, like the Premium Plus, for example. Yeah, I'll put I think there's 3 different tiers of the plug-in hybrid, and I would say they're all worth it, just depending on the equipment you need. You know, we have the head-up display in here, we have heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. Now, one thing I don't have, which has kind of surprised me, is I don't have lane centering technology. So if you plan on taking this on long road trips, which a plug-in hybrid is perfect for, you don't have lane centering in here, which is kind of crazy. You do have radar cruise control and it works pretty well, but you don't have that safety feature where it just keeps you in the center of your lane and helps with the steering aspect.
Yeah, you like that on long trips.
I do, absolutely. If I can have it, I want it. And I don't know if that's available on different plug-in hybrids. I haven't really done my research on it, but I think this is the most expensive plug-in hybrid that Mazda offers here in North America, and we don't have lane centering. So I'll have to look into that. I'll fact check myself. The brakes, I love the Mazda brake feel in here, but the vehicle does feel heavier compared to the Inline 6, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Now, since it's a hybrid, you might not use the friction brakes as much as a traditional vehicle. Now the Inline 6 will use regen braking too, because they say it's a mild hybrid, but it's really more of a traditional hybrid with its fuel efficiency that it gets. So, and has a pretty big battery pack as well for a mild hybrid. But yeah, I like, it says estimated AC recharging time. That's on its max recharge rate, which I think is around 7 kilowatts. We only have about a 3.7 kilowatt charger at home. It takes us 4 hours to recharge, which is nothing. That's between kid drop-offs. I could refill the battery, definitely overnight. It's just, since you don't have all that much range, you are gonna have to be plugging it in quite often, right? If you had a battery electric vehicle, you wouldn't be charging it as much in theory from home. It'd be every other day, every 3 days. Here you'd be plugging it in every day, maybe twice a day. Which is it's just a small inconvenience, but you won't be going to the gas station hardly at all if you're doing that. So you're spending very little money on fuel, and you're spending little time pumping your gas and taking time out of your schedule. So yeah, there's hardly any 3-row plug-in hybrid vehicles out there. We haven't tested hardly any either. As a result, I think we tested the Sorento plug-in hybrid. This has a lot more performance and a lot more luxury to it, and I think it comes at a similar price point. So we would be taking this, and I feel like it's actually a little bit more accommodating for rear passengers as well compared to the Sorento plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Our girls, they easily got in and out.
Yeah.
Right? They easily buckled themselves as well.
Yeah, but they didn't have Abe to climb through.
No.
And so when you have a rear-facing car seat, it really changes the dynamic. You have to make sure that baby rear-facing seat is on the opposite end of where you plan to load kids in.
Yeah, it's true.
So they can get in behind the seat and in front of the second row seats. So with that being said, like, we're sitting here, it's purely quiet. It's a very quiet, luxurious feeling vehicle. The powertrain's extremely buttery smooth, very quiet, and more refined than the Inline 6 while giving you the same performance while also giving you far better efficiency. So we really like it. This is one of the vehicles, like, I remember the last CX-90 that we had, the Inline 6, we didn't want to get rid of it. We just enjoy them so much. And I can't say that about a lot of vehicles. Like, I'm ready to get rid of most, but I just like the feeling of this. I like how it handles. I like the looks.
Yeah, it looks good.
I feel luxurious in here, and it comes in at more of a mass market price. So Mazda's doing a lot of things correct here. With the CX-90 and the upcoming CX-70, which is the same vehicle as this. They just took out the third row and called it the CX-70. It should have been called the CX-9 in my opinion, but that's another topic. But anyways, thanks, Cass, for coming along. Is it any other words you have to say?
I think it's a really nice, like, can you call it a mid-sized car? It's like an in-between, right? It's not like a gigantic.
It's not like
Navigator.
Absolutely not. No, it's on the upper end of mid-size.
Upper end of
probably,
mid-size. Well, I think it looks fantastic for being the upper end of mid-size.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And just like, I don't have a lot of curvy roads, but just steering this thing, the steering just feels very natural and sporty.
I can tell as a passenger that's a very easy steering, and I love that I don't hear like the wind outside or other cars really.
No.
Like, that's a nice thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We love this thing. So Mazda, thank you for sending it to us. We're super grateful. We can't wait to test drive the CX-70, which I might be able to go on a trip. I think it's in April.
Ooh, fun.
So we have a lot of things going on in April for the channel, so definitely stay tuned for that. And we'll catch you in the next one while we're just cruising in silence, electric propulsion.
Yeah.
And the kids are being quiet, so thanks, kids.
They love it too. Like, it's a nice ride.
I feel like this calm morning in the CX-90, the kids being calm. We don't even have a crying newborn right now.
No.
Like, it kind of fits everything about this vehicle's persona. It's just smooth and pleasant. Just 3 trim levels for the plug-in hybrid CX-90. In the video, I had the Premium Plus, so you guys get an idea of all the features, if you need them, if you don't need them, that sort of thing. This has the largest screen. This has a smaller screen, I believe, and same thing with the base model. Now, you can get the panel roof here on the second grade. And the second grade, this Premium comes with captain's chairs. So if you would prefer to have a bench seat in the second and third row, then go ahead and get the preferred. I think all of them are a great buy. I would pick any of them over the turbo model because it's just, like I said, more smooth, equal power, and far more efficient, and just more fun to play with. I don't have twisty roads, so I can't really appreciate the fullness of the CX-90 Turbo and its more light and flickable nature. We're going to go to cars.com, not sponsored by them, but I want to see what kind of plug-in hybrids are in my area. There's actually a ton. In about 150 miles where I live here in South Florida, 213 plug-in hybrids are available. Let's see what kind of prices we can get on them. These are being advertised below sticker price at $48,195. So there are deals to be had. Now, looking at the trims in my area, how it breaks down is actually the preferred. The base model is the smallest volume-wise. The Premium Plus are equally as available, I'll say that. So let's take a look at the Premium model here. That's going to give you the panel roof, the captain's chairs, the larger wheels. It's going to look identical from the outside, I would think, compared to the one that I'm driving. Now, these are placeholder images because these are actually the top turbo model with the Inline 6 because of the paint matched wheel arches. Here we go. This is a better idea. So we can actually get the premium models as well for a discount, because remember 54.4, that's the starting price. That's not even including destination, and you can get crazy deals. So the market's coming down. You're able to get cars now below MSRP. It's happening finally here in early 2024. Still, interest rates are ridiculously high. Now, leasing might be a good deal for you guys as well. I want to see what kind of offers there currently are on lease. Military, you have loyalty rewards. So if you already have a Mazda to Mazda purchase. And then you also have this additional CX-9. So they want to get you out of the old CX-9 into the CX-90. So they have additional rebate there for you. Now, they also, check this out. Applied offer, $7,500 lease. That is incredible. That's really going to help lower the price. That might have something to do with the tax credit situation. Since it is a plug-in hybrid, it probably qualifies for the full EV tax credit only as a lease and not as a purchase. So if we look at financing here, yeah, look, there might be, some good offers here, but I'm seeing some reward things, but I switched from special APR to cashback offer. Okay, that's not a special APR, so I don't know, that's a terrible APR. So I think leasing at this point in time is the way to go on this plug-in hybrid, because you're getting an additional $7,500 applied to your lease to really lower the payment. Now it still is asking for a bunch of money down. You can probably get rid of that. I'm curious. Yeah, $686 a month versus if we look at over $1,100 a month if you're financing it. Yikes. And that's with excellent credit. So leasing is the way to go right now. If you're buying a new CX-90, you get $7,500 applied to it, and that's for 10 miles or 10,000 miles a year. So that's the route I would be going. Any of the plug-in hybrids is a good deal. Just depends on what kind of equipment you need in your life. But I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one.